So, our final review of the day is going to be for the horror film Talk to Me. And this horror film is made by two Australian directors. This is an Australian film.
Yep.
It is also a A24 film. There, A24, people know, always known for that good quality content there. Making movies. Is this another kind of great movie from this studio? Well, we'll let you know. In this kind of horror movie thriller here, it's kind of revolving around a game. And that game, party kind of game, where people come together, they pull out this hand, you extend your hand, give it a handshake, and then you say,
Mhm.
"Talk to me," right? And when you say that, you'll see a demonic spirit kind of come, a ghost appear, and then
Mhm.
you have the option to say, "I invite you in," and then you kind of become possessed by this game. And then the very very specific rules of this game is that you cannot let the ghost be inside you for more than 90 seconds. If you do, well, that would be very very bad.
Yeah, they
And
say in the movie because they'll want to stay.
they want to say, directed by this is two brothers, Danny and Michael Filippo.
Yeah,
Here,
Danny and Michael Philippou, who are behind the YouTube channel Raka Raka, and that channel is known for its kind of live action horror comedy and how intense they are, especially with a lot of their horror stuff, a lot of practical effects, a lot of gore, very similar to kind of how Damien Leone got his start.
right. So yeah. So I'm finding out about these guys. Brandon was telling me a little bit about them, that he's been following their career.
Mhm.
Yeah, you mentioned that they were YouTubers, so that's pretty nice there. And this is their first feature film, correct?
Yes, this is their directorial debut. They were both, and this isn't their first time in the film industry. They've also worked on The Babadook. I think they were part of the crew on there. Uh, yeah, Michael Philippou, he fought on the undercard of KSI Logan Paul, which is
Oh,
really cool to read on their Wikipedia page. And he actually won. So good
nice.
on him.
He's got some hands. Good on him. Okay, yeah. So if you talk shit about his movie, you can whoop your ass.
you
Um,
you can and will.
yeah. Here leading the movie, you have a woman named Sophie Wilde.
Yep.
You know,
Also making her feature film debut.
oh, really? Okay, because she does a very impressive job in this. I would have never guessed that. And she's playing a young woman. She recently just lost her mother. She has, very strained relationship with her father because of that. And she kind of has, formed this close relationship with this other family with her best friend here. And what was her best friend's name? It was
Jade, she's played by Alexander Jensen, and Jade's little brother Riley, who's played by Joe Bird, and
okay.
their mother, who's played by Miranda Otto from Lord of the Rings, and of course, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Yeah, yeah. She's kind of I think the only real
She's the
recognizable
biggest.
face.
She is the biggest name in this for
Yeah,
sure. This movie was made on a budget of 4.5 million, and it's already exceeded 10 at the box office, which I think it's A24's second highest grossing weekend.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So that's very good. So yeah, Miranda Otto is probably the biggest name in this. So yeah, very kind of, a lot of, first timers, and people have been in small little things kind of here and there. So I will say, about this movie, kind of the whole concept of it, about like this kind of game of this demonic possessions, and then be turned into kind of
Mhm.
like this viral thing almost, there for these kids, like as a party trick. I
Mhm.
can almost saw it as a metaphor for, you could say, like drug use. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? About how like there's a new drug that kind of hit the street, and all these kids are trying it. Like they become quickly addicted to it.
Mhm.
Like you see Sophie Wilde's character, like she gets possessed, and you see her reaction afterwards. It's not like, I
Yeah,
never want to do that
it's like
again.
it's like a high that she experiences after being possessed by through this hand, and you see more and more of that allegory, especially as the film goes on. Especially because it's like a thing. Whenever it's happening, kids around will pull out their phones and start recording, and that's very much an allegory for drug and alcohol use, especially when characters are kind of zonked out while they're possessed.
Yeah. These kids, they can't just regularly just do fentanyl like regular
they
teenagers.
can't, they can't
You
just
know.
smoke. They can't just smoke weed like we used to do back in the day, allegedly.
Yeah, you know, it's like, hey man, got this new shit, man. Demonic possession, man. It's hot. It's a
Yeah,
hot new
so
thing, man.
yeah, you got to wait 21 to drink, but you can be 6 to summon the devil.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I was kind of like, yeah, man, just came just regular teenagers, you know. So yeah, I thought that was kind of like, you know, that kind of this cool, like you said, allegory type situation for that drug
Mhm.
use, you know, substance abuse there that you have, like they get this high off of it, you know, like it's, you know, Sophie Wild's character, she's constantly doing it over and over again, and just getting this
Mhm.
incredible high on. And you see that, you know, all the kind of types of crazy stuff happens when they get possessed. You know, they just some, you know, sing while they do it. You know, some kind of get turned on while they do it. You know, there's kind of a gross scene with a dog in this that kind of happens in this. So all kinds of like all types of crazy stuff kind of happens in this. And when you see kind of get more and more dangerous for the people who involved in the game, especially Sophie Wild's character, you see that. So I thought that was kind of very effective what they do. And a lot of the you mentioned this as a budget of only what $5 million.
Yeah, yeah, $4.5 million, and all of this is done. All of the effects in here that you see, all of the kind of because you see some of the spirits that end up getting let into these teenagers, and they all have this very gross look to them, and all of it's done practically, especially when later in the movie you get a spirit that has a connection to Mia. And the longer the movie goes on, because that spirit sticks around, she gets more and more rotted and demon like, and all of it is practical effects, which is amazing to see that a horror movie, especially with this kind of a low budget, is still capable of doing them and having them look this good.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah, great effects, you know, I mean,
Mhm.
with a lot of the ghosts and everything like that, like really good. You mentioned it's done practically. A lot of great work done there about like how grotesque they look, you know, so kind of zombified they kind of look. It's really, really impressive work. So I was very, very impressed by that. Toss it to you. What are some of kind of your opinions on this?
My opinions on this, I've kind of already heard the hype around this movie about how this was going to be one of the best horror movies of the year, one of the scariest movies of the last couple years. And I'm a big horror film fan. I absolutely love the genre, especially last year. I think most of my top 10 were horror film stuff like Black Phone, stuff like X, Pearl. Uh, and Terrifier. And here, I think where a lot of those movies delve more into the like visceral violence that comes with horror, I feel like this movie more so delves into the deep psychological aspects of it, especially with how this movie is tackling grief.
Mm,
And it's kind of incredible that this came out the same weekend as Haunted Mansion, which also tackles a similar subject. And I think this one is definitely has a more nihilistic twist to it, and how the inability to let go and move on from grief can have dire consequences.
yeah. Yeah. You kind of see that a lot in horror movies, you know, grief and its impact on
Mhm.
people and how it kind of leads them to do very dangerous things. Again, you know, that when they bring about the metaphor of, you know, substance abuse here
Mhm.
that's in the movie of just about, you know, grief will kind of make you turn to other substances, you know,
Mhm.
for, as an escape, as a
Yeah,
getaway.
yeah, chasing a high to numb that pain that you're too afraid to face yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, and a lot of these actors, you know, like I said, very great from them. A lot of their
Mhm.
first time, you know, doing anything.
Yeah,
Um,
and especially when they're playing the game and they have to embody all these different spirits, they're all fantastic. And the standout here is Joe Bird, who plays Riley.
mm, yeah, I mean, because he has a great sequence in this.
Mhm.
Really
Yeah,
great
he has
sequence.
the most hard to watch, horrifying sequence in the movie.
Yeah. So I thought that was really good. Um, yeah. So this is a great directorial debut from these two guys. I can't wait to see what
Mhm.
they do next. Them gonna. I don't know if they're gonna emerge as the new big names in horror. You know what I mean? Like we've kind of seen.
They,
Maybe.
yeah, if they become the new big names in horror, if they go ahead and take the payday from Marvel or whatever they decide to do next, there's a maturity with the writing and direction in this, as well as how they're using a lot of these practical effects, as well as the sound design in this, because this goes more into like the earlier James Wan stuff where they would just have things kind of linger in shadows and have the sound build up, and that really is the scare instead of just having something jump at you.
Yeah, and I think it is very effective. A lot of the horror stuff. Ready Infantry says on a scale of weird A24 movies out there, is this on it says he said on a scale of weird A24 movies, how out there is this? I wouldn't say it's the weirdest thing they've ever done. I mean,
this isn't like that Sheep movie they did, or even something like Men that they did. I feel like this is a little bit more palatable as a horror movie.
Yeah, I mean, because it is just, I mean, simple kind of concept of just demonic possessions, everything like that.
Yeah, something that I think really stands out about this movie is that demonic possession, stuff with the supernatural, dealing with spirits, men playing with forces that they can't and shouldn't understand and will never understand. None of that is new, but there's a new spin on this that Danny and Michael Philippou have that somehow still makes this feel fresh. In that they are taking it more as like, what if teenagers had the capability of doing this? Oh, they turn it into a party game.
Yeah, turn into a party game. So I thought that was, like I said, your very unique spin on the whole common demonic possession thing. Thank you, Chris Atham. Thank you for the subscription. Very much appreciate it there. You must have just got done with your stream. How was that? But yeah, so I like his own kind of spin on this, the kind of the message that they're doing with the movie. So I like that they kind of incorporate that in this movie. And I like that a lot. So for its uniqueness in that, I very much appreciate it. That it is not just your traditional demonic kind of possession thing that they put on with their little spin on it. So for that, I'm gonna give it peak. I did enjoy it quite a bit. What are your thoughts on it? What would be your rating?
So there is no secret. I'm a huge fan of horror. I absolutely love seeing that this is a genre there where we can still get kind of old and very tired concepts, especially like with demonic possession, which is one of my least favorite subgenres of horror, because I feel like none of them do anything new with them. You have these very same kind of aspects that you get in every single demon possession movie, like the actor acting crazy, stuff flying towards the wall, a lot of random jump scares that add nothing to the movie. And here you get so much more into the psychological of why demonic possession would be so terrifying, and why somebody, especially in Mia's state of mind, would seek that out, and how this movie tackles grief and how the inability to move on can destroy you and everybody around you. And this movie's ending, I'm not going to say it here, but my jaw was aghast. I was shocked and terrified of the implications of this ending. And I just kind of sat there as the credits rolled on opening night. And to this day, I have yet to think of a movie that does that to me, besides a Marvel movie, but there's a reason for that. This is cinema to me. This is one of my favorite horror movies of the last couple of years. I adored this movie. I can't wait to see it again. I want to show this to every single person that comes to my house.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
Loved it that much, huh? Yeah, wow. High praise from Nick. This is cinema from him and a peak from me. I greatly enjoyed it. I mean, thinking about some of the better horror movies of the year, like this and Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah. In the last couple of years, if we're getting into that, this, Evil Dead Rise, Pearl, The Black Phone, X.
Terrifier. Yeah. So yeah, very much impressed with the movie. Yeah. So this is cinema and peak for Talk to Me.
Yeah, for as many films that bombed in July, it's been a really good month for film.
Yeah. So we had a great show tonight. A lot of great reviews. I can't remember, like, when was the last show we did where all movies we gave a high rating to? I'm trying to think. It's been a minute.
It has been a long time. It's like weeks like this remind me why this job is fun.
Yeah. We did give great reviews back to back for Barbie and Oppenheimer, though. We did do that.
Oh yeah.
My name Trinity says, I hope this gets a physical release, unlike Barbarian. Barbarian didn't do a physical release.
Yeah, they still haven't given it a physical release, which, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. I would love to buy Barbarian.
Yeah, I'd love a 4K of that movie.
Yeah, man. Especially since they've just taken off shit on streaming services just whenever they want, willy nilly.
Yeah.
I'd love to buy that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
especially considering that's that's a 20th century movie. Fuck. I was gonna make a crack about Warner Brothers, and it's like, yeah, this is why Christopher Nolan left your ass.
Yeah. Man. All right.